glass of boiling pitch, black as abyss, struck, and as the dust settled and the world returned to quiet, it opened its eyes into the sky, all smoke and void, with the moon staring back. My, nowhere. We certainly have an interesting show for you all, and I'd like to welcome all my dearest listeners out there who are joining us this broadcast. It always seems like we're just out of reach to pull you into our lovely little burg and show you everything, shall we say, firsthand. We would like to start off with an apology about a previous interruption from Miss Catherine Moffat again. She has recently acquired herself a copy of some of our station keys. We're not sure how, but she is using them to try and speak with me whenever she wants, regardless of whether I'm in the middle of a broadcast or not. Bless her enthusiasm, though, it certainly was infectious. What with her shimmering dark eyes and readied, pointed crossbow, she seemed so certain, so ready. She kept saying, "Astarte, it's working, I'm pushing them back. We can do it. You and I, and all of nowhere, we can do it. And the great hunt will come soon, but I will be ready for her." She left once again in such a hurry that I didn't have time to ask her what she was doing. But her confidence, wow, such energy can really liven up our quiet and calm radio station. It's been so empowering I haven't even touched my coffee. Well, that and someone used the wrong bag of grounds and now my coffee isn't coffee. But that's besides the point. On a different side of things, I have another announcement to make. The Forsaken Parliament has passed a new law banning a particular song. You know the one. Apparently it has caused significant trouble in certain circles, and they also believe it could be severed propaganda. So to protect the youth, the song has been banned from playing in all of the following locations: airports, school hallways, cafeterias, public squares of any kind, private parties with participants of more than 12 people and or anyone over the age of 8, public parties with no specific number and or anyone over the age of 22, anywhere that tap water is served in a container made of glass, plastic, or paper, anywhere that you could hear someone scream for help or hooray at 3 p.m., and lastly, the zoo. So, we probably won't be hearing much of that song anymore, and the Forsaken Parliament would like me to inform you all that anyone being caught in the mentioned locations will be fined 1/10 of their current joy, and be given a memory involving spiders. Authorities have not clarified whether they will be making the new memory during the execution of the judicial action, or just adding it to the existing band of memories we all carry. Today's short comes to us from the end of a nightmare and the beginning of a day terror. Oh wait, I apologize, the wrong page. Today's short comes from Nuevo Terraza. It is titled, "I Dreamt Last Night of Dying." On cold and foreign earth, and bled onto the grass, but felt nothing. Felt no flutter in my chest, no hate towards cruel fate. I lay on the cold earth and looked up to the sky with no moon above, no sun, and saw one star shining boldly, like a glimmering spark amidst long burned out ash, and a sorrow took me. Alone I lay weeping, and I cursed death and all her greedy visages, and yelped to anything that would hear me in the dark. But I was unanswered. I believe death would have been a trifling thing, a passing moment. But of all the things I would leave behind, I cannot bear to think of that. The end of my time would be too much. Grief took me. I could feel my end drawing up like a page on the precipice of turning, and then I woke. And never had I been happier to greet the day than to know that I would not be leaving. As the sun smiled at me, I saw the empty bed. It won't be too long. I will be with you soon. And I can wait, because I don't plan on going. Not yet. Oh, wait. I apologize, I was right the first time. So, small revision there, listeners. This was in fact coming from a nightmare turned to day terror. The local constabulary are very upset nowhere. Very, very frustrated. Some of you may have seen them with ladders and drawn shamshirs heading out to Highway 2Q. Last night, a group of graffiti artists vandalized all billboards on the highway that depicted people smiling, stitching thick purple velvet across their eyes and mouths to appear like a deceased smiley face with questionable dental work. Reports state that as many as 36 of these acts have been cited, and Nowhere's constabulary is ordering more scissors. The efforts to clean up the vandalism are causing some slowdowns, although as far as officials are concerned, this is merely due to rubberneckers. No one has yet to step forward and claim responsibility for the act, but some rumors have been heard saying that it is a rising band of rogue street seamstress and sarders armed with needles like rapiers and thread like garrote wire. But again, those are just rumors. Our local weather service warned that everyone of rough waters out by Blythe Drug, and so we are advising all to keep a fair distance from the shore. No moon fishing, no midnight swims either nowhere. Lifeguards have been armed with bolas and night vision gear to detain any violators of the warning. And on a personal note, listeners, the sea is in a bad mood. Give them some time to relax, and then go hang out with them. Nothing worse than a bunch of unwanted guests when you aren't feeling well. A disturbing and depressing bit of news nowhere. We're getting reports from our constabulary that they have discovered several bodies crudely buried in the basement of an abandoned apartment block. Officials are puzzled as to how the bodies were buried in what should have been solid cement, as well as how they were discovered in said solid cement. Preliminary analysis revealed that they died from long, slender, piercing injuries. However, upon further inspection, the bodies appear not to be human. What at first appeared to be advanced stages of decomposition have come to light as a wholly inhuman, viscous black fluid. Spooky, don't you think, Nowhere? Oh, in addition to the bodies discovered in the basement, constables have discovered the aftermath of what they're calling a brutal revolutionary on Defender of the Peace street fight near Castor Street. 23 bodies have been recovered and will be laid out for identification tomorrow until 5 p.m. at the coroner, down near Maple at 13th. If you believe you know one of the deceased, please stop by so they can be laid to rest. And questioning about your relation to the deceased, considering they are brutal revolutionaries. Today's submission is a beautiful one. At least, so I have been told. It is one of the rare occasions where I have not been the first to read my submission. It is titled, "The Road We Must Enjoy." Okay. I'm going to say something so cheesy, it's going to feel like you're drowning in Velveeta. Life is a journey. The destination is death. But we don't have to worry about that or even think about it, because if we do, we're going to spend all our time missing stop signs and oncoming traffic. Sit in the dim light of a gas station parking lot eating a sandwich we immediately regret without ever realizing that we missed that awesome chowder place. Or that the conversation we were having with our passenger in between directions is really good advice. Or that the two in the back seat stealing kisses from each other in the dark between street lamps are too shy to admit that they just want to unbuckle their seatbelts, throw off their shirts, and kiss on the bumpy floor so that even you can't see them in your rearview mirror when the back window begins to fog up. Or that the song that's playing makes you want to cry, even though you can't remember that it's what was playing when you said goodbye to your best friend. We have to keep going, because we can only hit the brakes so long on the freeway before someone crashes into you, or beeping from everyone around you makes you want to drive into a tree. In the dark, on the road, when your world is suddenly filled with red and the flow stops, you grind to a halt and get a moment to see the world around. Dark, red shadows stretching out against the shapes in the night, stones, trees, someone walking their dog at way too late an hour to be reasonable. Then, someone else picks up your pace, intersecting your sight for just a moment. You can see them on their own way, their own journey, but we don't know if they too have ever stopped too long to think about where they're going or why we're not on the same road that they are. And then the world goes green, and onwards the world rolls. Here we go. The dark beyond the light awaits us. Just make sure to stop at a nice restaurant, and maybe blast the radio when your jam comes on. The road only goes so far. We might as well make an adventure out of it. So hit the gas. Come on. We have a flow to maintain. This piece comes to us from Shelley Banner from Low Garden. A lovely piece, Miss Banner. One, I think, we could all appreciate. Listeners, I've just been informed that we have a very, very pleasant surprise. Oh my. We have a rather fun submission to our advice column. It comes to us from Tarot Street in a coffee-scented envelope. It reads, Dear Mr. Astarte, I'm new to nowhere, and have just gotten my bearings around town. And as shy as I am to admit it, I've already taken a fancy to someone. Having heard your advice column before and seeing the respect people have for you, I thought it might be best to ask for your help. I have a crush on one of the customers who comes in frequently to my workplace, and I'm unsure as to how to approach them. Your advice would be very welcomed. Fluttering in anticipation, a cotton-tailed heart. Ah, well, Cottontail, I'm happy to hear that you've gotten your bearings here in nowhere, and I'm always enamored to hear about people falling in love. As for some basic help with your crush, as I don't know anything about them, be bold, be kind, be confident, and be honest, but be none of these things in excess. I always find it best to become friendly with the person of affection, and then to tell them gently, and to receive their answer with an open heart, rather than just bare your heart to them and hoping for the best. Gather your courage and start with a hello, and then maybe after some conversation of getting to know them, ask them to, well, maybe not coffee, considering, but maybe a drink. The Torntecho is a lovely watering hole with a brilliant view of the Nowhere Piers, especially at night. I hope it all goes well for you, Cottontail. Good luck. And remember, courage. It will be your best defense. That and what wisdom I have brought. Well, my dearest listeners, another broadcast is drawing to a close on us. I'll be sure to speak to you all soon. Things to be kept in mind are, well, the fact that our strange little town seems to be getting ever stranger around us. And if somewhere, deep in your bones, that rattling of oddness excites you, good. Pick up a pen, rattle something down for us. Until then, we'll be rattling our own strangeness here. And remember, listeners, someone, somewhere, and nowhere is listening.